Good evening and welcome to the semifinal and final championship of the Arkansas Governors Quizbowl Association, brought to you live by AETN. I'm your hostess for the evening, Evangeline Parker, and I'm truly honored to be here. I am actually standing in the studio with intellectual brilliance, and tonight you will have the opportunity to see that. But before we start the Quizbowl competition, I want to introduce you to the judges, beginning with Kate Self, Kathy Hayes, Dinah Allen. Our scorekeeper for the evening will be Alan Hayes. And our all-star judges are Rick Clough and Jeanette Deaton. The scoreboard operator this evening will be Kevin Lewis. And now let me introduce you to our team, beginning with Ball Knob. First we have Joe Burton. He is an 18-year-old senior at Ball Knob High School. He will attend the University of Central Arkansas on the Trustees Scholarship. Next is Bart Taylor, 18 and a senior at Ball Knob High School, captains the AAA Ball Knob team. He will attend the University of Arkansas on the Chancellor Scholarship. Next is David Jones. He is 17 years old. He's a senior and will be attending Harding University on an academic scholarship. And we have Jeremy Abel. Jeremy is a junior at Ball Knob High School. He plays the trombone in the band and is a medic in Army National Guard. The coach is Bill Davis and Brady Roberts. Our alternates are Brent Roberts, Decinda Mobley, and Amanda Halt. Our next team is Fort Smith Northside. First we have Seth Hutchinson. He is a sophomore, one of 12 students chosen for a state close-up shadowing program, selected for Boys State. Cecilia Tran. Cecilia is a senior, captain of the Northside Quizbowl team, and plans to attend the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville. Next, we have Bunthanam Nuansang Si, a senior, treasurer of the National Honor Society, and will be attending the University of Arkansas. And we have Sean Standifer, a member of the National Honor Society, member of the Spanish Honor Society, and currently ranks number 2 in the class. Our alternate is Colin Drolshagen, and the coach is Larry Jones. I think it's now time for us to begin the match, but first, let me introduce to you the quiz master for the evening, Suzanne Minor. Suzanne is a coach at Berryville High and is the past president of Quizbowl Board. Let the games begin.
Thank you, Evangeline. All right, teams. Here we are. We'll let your coaches and alternates get settled. For the benefit of our audience at home, at the start of each quarter, I'll talk just a little bit about the rules. I know you guys know them, but they might not. So our first round, 20 toss-up questions. Players must buzz in and remember to wait to be recognized. Ready? All right. Question number 1. Among this Italian painter's masterpieces are Deposition of Christ, Bald Knob Joe.
Caravaggio?
Yes. And players, remember to speak real loudly so everybody in the studio can hear you, especially our judges and me. Second question. You might need pencil and paper. You might need the 15 seconds. Find the secant of an angle of 120 degrees. Northside, Sean.
-2.
Yes.
Good shot.
Name the European country that is the setting for Ernest Hemingway's novel, Bald Knob Joe.
Spain?
Yes. For whom the bell tolls. What scientist won a 1960 Nobel Prize for his discovery of radioactive Bald Knob Joe? Answer, please.
Becquerel.
Incorrect. Radioactive dating. Northside, Cecilia.
Libby?
Yes.
Good shot.
In computer jargon, what does the acronym RAM? Northside, Booth.
Random access memory.
Yes.
Good shot.
Passed in 1919 over a presidential Northside, Sean.
Volstead Act.
Yes.
Good shot. Good shot.
Hey, he served as a congressman from Massachusetts from 1848 to 1853. Identify this educator, lawyer, and politician who is best known for his pioneering of the modern public school Northside Booth.
Man.
Yes.
Good shot.
This national park is the largest island in Lake Superior. Northside Booth.
Isle Royale.
Yes.
Good shot.
What 20th century Irishman wrote, "The Lake Isle, Northside Cecilia"?
Yates.
Yes.
Good shot.
Good job.
Number 10. The first message he sent on his new invention was Northside, or Bald Knob Joe.
Morse.
Yes. You guys are saving me a lot of time. Number 11. He was born Carol Wotilla, Northside Cecilia.
Hook John Paul II.
Yes.
Good shot.
Name the character in Shakespeare's Macbeth who is the younger, Bald Knob Joe.
Malcolm.
Incorrect. Who is the younger son of Duncan and brother of Malcolm, who flees to Ireland after his father's death. Northside Cecilia.
Donald Bain.
Yes.
Good job.
This Egyptian pharaoh claimed to be the equal of the high Northside Seth.
Akhenaten. Or
Judges? Yes.
Good job.
I had all the right syllables in there. Between 500 and 1200 AD, this art style became very, Bald Knob Joe.
Gothic.
Incorrect. Became very popular. Identified this style centered around Constantinople and Ravenna, Italy, that was characterized by the use of icons. Northside Seth.
Byzantine.
Yes.
Good job.
This is a math question that might take the 15 seconds. Factor the following equations. 3x squared plus 2x minus 1. Northside Cecilia.
3x plus 1, x minus 1.
No. Bald Knob. Bald Knob Bart.
3x minus 1, x plus 1.
Judges? Yes.
Good job, Bart. Okay.
What 12-letter term in science is defined as the emission of light, Bald Knob Joe?
Photoelectricity.
Incorrect. The emission of light from the absorption of radiation from another source. Northside Sean.
Scintillation.
Incorrect. I have fluorescence. What name, meaning land between rivers? Northside Booth.
Mesopotamia.
Yes.
Good shot.
Number 18. On a direct flight from New Mexico to Montana, over parts of what 4 states would you fly? Bald Knob Joe.
Utah. Wyoming.
Answer?
Colorado.
No. Northside, can you take it? Seth?
Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana.
No. You forgot where you started and finished. New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana. In Boris Pasternak's classic novel, Dr. Zhivago, what is the title character's Northside Cecilia?
Yuri.
Yes.
Good
Good
shot.
job.
And our final question for the quarter. Name the legendary king of Athens, who... Bald Knob Joe. Answer, please.
No answer.
No answer. Who threw himself into the sea, mistakenly thinking his son Theseus's mission on Crete had failed. Northside? Cecilia?
Laertes.
Incorrect. It is Aegeus. At the end of the quarter, we have a chance for the coaches to challenge anything that they might think might be incorrect. So, judges, do we have challenges? Like to consult? Okay. For the following quarter. So judges or coaches, are there challenges or just discussions? Just discussions? Okay, if you're going to make a substitution, please select who you're going to substitute. And are we going to substitute? One moment. Mm-hmm. It did? 12?
No, that's 13.
Okay. Okay, with some discussion between the coaches and players, they determined that something that might have been a challenge was not. So our score is correct. Then at the end of the first quarter, with Fort Smith Northside with a score of 130, Bald Knob with 40. Ready for our second round, guys? Oh. We're all confused. It's live TV. Okay, our second quarter consists of toss-up questions. The team that gets the correct answer to the toss-up has a chance at a 4-part bonus. And Bart and Cecilia, remember when you give the answers to bonuses, clearly towards me. Our toss-up. The Cumberland River flows through what large Tennessee city? Bald Knob Joe. Answer, please.
Nashville.
Yes. Judges? He was concerned that he didn't. Okay. I'll try to be consistent on how I ask for it. If I give one team a warning of answer, please, I will try to do that for both teams. Okay. Bald Knob, your bonus question is on holidays. Answer the following questions about holidays. What minor American holiday, which is celebrated on the last Friday in April, is dedicated to trees and their preservation?
Yeah, Arbor Day.
Arbor Day.
Yes. Which president signed the Flag Day bill, making Flag Day an annual official observance?
Flag Day. Probably later. Like, I bet it was. Probably Nixon.
Answer, please.
Nixon.
No. On what day of the year is Groundhog's Day celebrated?
February 2nd.
February 2nd.
Yes.
Good job, David.
What holiday is celebrated the Sunday before Easter and celebrates Jesus' triumphant entry
Palm
into
Sunday.
Jerusalem?
Palm Sunday.
Yes, and I have that they got 3 of the 4. Back to another toss-up. Who is the father of the innocent, artless, and lonely heroine, Desdemona, of Shakespeare's Othello? Northside, Cecilia.
Iago.
Incorrect. Bald Knob, can you pick it up? No answer. I have Brabantio. We had to have a hard one every now and then, right? What American regionalist painter? Bald Knob, Joe. Answer,
O'Keeffe.
please. No. Born in 1882, is famous for his work, both members of this club. Northside? Cecilia.
Grant Wood.
No, it is Thomas Hart Benton. What largely autobiographical work by Thomas De Quincey? Northside, Cecilia.
The Confessions of an English Opium Eater.
Yes.
Good shot.
Okay. Northside, your bonus category is mayors. Identify the metropolis that the following mayor served. Your first one, Ed Koch.
What is that? New York?
New
York.
Yes.
Good shot.
Diane Feinstein.
It would be LA. Yeah, LA.
L.A.
No. Tom Bradley.
That's San Francisco. San Francisco.
San Francisco.
No. And Harold Washington.
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
No. Got 1 out of the 4. And no hitting when I read the answers, okay? Diane Feinstein was San Francisco. Tom Bradley was Los Angeles. And Harold Washington was Chicago. Sometimes that consultation doesn't always work out, does it? Toss-up question. Identify the term in chemistry beginning with the letter A, which describes a negatively charged Northside, Sean.
Anion.
Yes.
Good shot.
Okay, your next bonus category deals with New Deal agencies. Identify the following New Deal agencies from their letters. FDIC.
Insurance Corporation.
Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation.
Yes. FHA.
Federal Housing.
Federal Housing Administration.
The Federal Housing Administration.
Yes. CCC.
Civilian Conservation Corps.
Civilian Conservation Corps.
Yes. WPA.
Works Progress Administration.
Works Progress Administration.
Yes. And history teachers all over are proud. For our final bonus, what actor plays the part of Dr. Evil in the Austin Bald Knob, David?
Not mine.
Yes. Okay, Bald Knob, your bonus. Supreme Court Justices. Identify the president who appointed the following justices as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. John Jay.
Washington.
Washington.
Yes. Warren Burger.
Burger. Oh, it's not too late. Say Clinton or Bush.
Bush.
No. William Howard Taft.
Who appointed him? I don't know. Say
Answer, please.
Coolidge.
No. John Marshall.
Madison, Monroe, Jefferson.
Monroe.
No. You got 1 out of the 4. Warren Burger was appointed by Richard Nixon.
Really?
Taft by Warren Harding, and John Marshall by John Adams. That brings us to the end of this quarter. Do we have any challenges on the bonus section, coaches? Okay. For those of you who have watched Quizbowl in the past, we are doing a few things differently. We always adapt the rules to suit what we feel is best for the players of the state. One of the things that we have decided to do is to read the categories for the lightning rounds and the introductions, and then give the teams a chance to consult with their coaches and make a choice. So at this point, I'm going to read the categories and their introductions. Presidential terms. When given the date of a presidential term, identify the president who was in office. Bones. Give the formal name of the following bones when I give you their more common name. And our third category is nation name changes. Given the former name of a nation, identify what the place is known as presently. And with our score at Fort Smith Northside 175 and Bald Knob 80, when we come back, Bald Knob will have the first shot at 60-second round categories. So we're now going to go to Evangeline in the other studio while the coaches talk with their players.
Well, how did you do there at home? It's getting hot here in the studio, but joining me right now I have Miss Carolyn Schry. She is the Quizbowl State Advisor. Carolyn, so what do you think so far?
Hey, it's been a great day, Evangeline. The teams are doing wonderful, and they've been going at this since 10 this morning.
Well, this is exciting. This is exciting to see, and as always, we want to know what the future holds for an event such as this because it's such a phenomenal event. What about the funding for Quizbowl? How is it looking?
Well, it's looking great because this past year we were able to get legislative funding for the first time, and we're in hopes that this will continue for many years, and it should based on the things these kids are doing. They're able to do a lot of things now they weren't able to in the past. We can send them to national competitions without having to kind of put our hand out every time or get them to pay part of it because that is able to do it. We've been able to hold an all-star camp this year, and that is a first to let these kids really learn new techniques that are practiced in matches around the country that they are not exposed to. We've been able to do things like have a banquet for them the night before this competition and invite people, including their families, friends, legislators, people from the State Department of Ed to come and see exactly the best and the brightest in action at one time. We know, too, that we're heading down the road to some really big competitions once the studio next door is finished for AETN. We're going to have a 3 to 6 state competition here for the first time ever, and we hope within 1 year or at the most 2 years. It was one of John Sheik's big dreams before he left AETN, and one of ours too, and we know that it's been promised regardless of whether he was here or not. That's going to happen. So we're excited.
So the future is looking really bright.
Oh, definitely, very bright.
That's wonderful. For young people who are looking at this, what kind of advice do you give to them about getting involved in something like this?
Oh, the sky's the limit. They go to their coach, they go to the people in their school, and they try out for a team. And the earlier they can get involved, the better. Very often, kids start at 4th grade level or so. And if they start that early, my gosh, by the time they get to high school, they are fantastic players. And we have over 240 teams at the high school level, at least that many or more at the junior high level, and probably 2 or 3 times that many at elementary level with all the interest in this state. And you know, we're one of the few states in the country that has elementary Quizbowl.
Oh.
It's very hard to get people to write the questions even because other states don't go down this low.
Well, Carolyn, I want to thank you so much for sharing that wonderful information. And we hope that you are enjoying this Quiz Bowl. I know that I am. And we want you to continue to watch and, you know, see if you can come up with some of the answers and see if you can come up with some motivation and some inspiration for these young people. And if you know a young person in your community that would be just wonderful on Quiz Bowl, encourage them to get involved. We're going to go right back to Suzanne right now. Take it away, Suzanne.
We are back for our 60-second round or lightning round. The coaches have had a chance to consult with their players to determine what category to choose. The team with the lower score got to choose first, and Bald Knob chose presidential terms. In response to that, Fort Smith Northside chose nation name changes. We'll now have 10 related questions that the teams get to consult and give me the answers within a 60-second time period. So we will start with Bald Knob and presidential terms. You guys ready? When given the date of a presidential term, identify the president who was in office. Number 1, 1913, 1921.
Wilson.
Yes. 1921, 1923.
Harding.
Yes. 1829, 1837.
Right after
Timer,
Quincy
please.
Adams.
Jackson.
Yes. 1877, 1881.
What?
Hayes.
Yes.
Good job.
1923, 1929.
Coolidge.
Yes. 1873, 1877.
Right before Hayes.
Grant.
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 Yes. 1845, 1849.
Polk.
Polk.
Yes. 1909, 1913.
Taft.
Yes. 1857, 1861.
Buchanan.
Yes. 1825, 1829.
Quincy Adams.
Quincy Adams.
Yes. Okay. And judges, even with the time start, they still had,
I think they still got it within the 60 seconds.
they still got it within the 60 seconds. Okay. Well then, I don't have any to bounce over to Northside. And with that, the Bald Knob team gained the 20 bonus points as well. So, would you tell them when to start the clock, please? Make sure it gets started for me. Okay. 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 Nation name changes for Fort Smith Northside. Given the former name of a nation, identify what the place is known as presently. Are we ready? Number 1, British Honduras.
Belize,
Yes. Kampuchea.
Cambodia,
Yes. Upper Volta.
Burkina Faso,
Yes. Ceylon.
Sri Lanka,
Yes. Gold Coast.
Ghana,
Yes. Abyssinia.
Ethiopia,
Yes. Upper Peru.
Ecuador.
Ecuador,
No. Rhodesia.
Botswana.
Zambia.
Zambia,
No. Formosa.
Taiwan,
Yes. Southwest Africa.
Southwest.
Namibia,
Yes. And that was number 10. I have that they got 9 out of the 10 with plenty of time left over. 8 out of the 10. Number 7 turns over and number 8 turns over. That's why we have judges. I sometimes mark things incorrectly. Although I think you would have taken the points, right? Okay, Bald Knob, we have 2 to bounce over to you. We have number 7 and number 8. Am I correct, judges? Keep me on track, all right? Bald Knob, are you ready to pick up these 2? The first one, Upper Peru.
Colombia.
Colombia.
No. And Rhodesia.
Say Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
Yes. I have that they picked up one of the bounce backs. Upper Peru is Bolivia. And that is the end of our 60-second round. Do we have any challenges, coaches?
Yes, we have a challenge.
We need a substitution and a little bit of a consultation. So, and a challenge. We also have a challenge that will be coming to you. While they're doing that, you guys can kind of ignore me and talk to your coaches. I'm doing this for the benefit of our audience at home to let you know that sometimes we feel like perhaps the answer that was written on the paper might not have been correct, and coaches have an opportunity to talk with their teams and look at resource material and see if maybe they can prove that the answer that they believe is correct is indeed a correct one. The rule for doing this is that they must have the material for their proof in the competition area. They must write down their challenge, and they write down their challenge on an official form and hand it to our judges. Along with that, the coach needs to present some reference material, and there are some popular books that they use, and look things up very quickly. And our total time allowed for this whole process is no more than 5 minutes. So if we feel like this might run into 5 minutes, we'll set the clock on 5 minutes and make sure that it gets taken care of within that period of time. So as you can see, it is quite an involved process. Those of you who've watched Quizbowl for a long time might remember the days way back when at this point in the game there were no challenges. And we felt like that was such an abrupt difference between the competition and the TV rounds that we were concerned about it. And so even though it is live TV, we still want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity. So let's look in a little bit on what the judges are doing, and I'll listen and see what I can pick up from what they're saying.
As their answer, and I don't remember the Southern or Northern Rhodesia did become known as that. So we are going to award the 10 points to Fort Smith Northside, and we will deduct 10 points from Bald Knob.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy. So at that point, with our corrected scoring, we now have Fort Smith Northside at 265 points, Bald Knob at 200? At 200. Okay. And have we done our substitutions for the fourth quarter, coaches? Yes? Northside, you're set for the fourth quarter? Okay. I guess we're ready for the fourth quarter then. Your judges, or your coaches seem to be ready. Judges are ready? Okay. Our fourth quarter is 20 more toss-up questions worth 10 points apiece. 31. This German philosopher was caricatured as Dr. Pangloss in Voltaire's Northside. Sean?
Leibniz?
Yes.
Good shot.
When concatenated, what two-element periodic table symbols spell the word babe? Northside, Sean.
Barium and beryllium.
Yes.
Good shot.
Judges, his light did come on first. Okay. In his 1991 book, The Work of Nations, he predicted that technology, globalization, and immigration would cause wider social gaps and lead to a two-tier society. Then it became his job to negate his own predictions as Clinton's Secretary of Labor. Northside, Cecilia.
Herman.
Incorrect. Name this small man with big ideas. Baldnab. Called time on that. Sorry, called time was Robert Reich. This section of a major U.S. city is flanked by Louis Armstrong Park on one end. Baldnab, Joe.
French Quarter?
Yes. In 1965, it came under the governance of the National Park Service after 30 years of use as a detention center for deportees. Northside, Booth.
Alcatraz.
Incorrect. A detention center for deportees, a hospital for wounded servicemen, and a Coast Guard station. Identify this New York landmark. Baldnab? David.
Ellis Island.
Yes.
Good job, David.
In 1886, pharmacist John Pemberton. Northside, Cecilia.
Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Good shot.
What famous baseball player and oxymoronic philosopher once said, Northside, Booth?
Yogi Berra.
Yes.
Good shot.
The wisdom of Yogi Berra. In which battle of the 100 Years' War did the Baldnab, Joe?
Agincourt.
Incorrect. Did the English capture John the Good? Northside? Seth?
Cressy.
Incorrect. I have Battle of Poitiers. What queen decreed that English nobles should take the oath to the crown? Baldnab, Joe.
Anne.
Incorrect. To take the oath to the crown while kneeling upon a wool sack to remind them that the power of England was built upon sheep. Northside? Booth?
Elizabeth.
Specifically? Yes.
Shot.
What scientist was the third collaborator with the Curies? Northside, Booth.
Becquerel.
Yes.
Good shot.
10 questions left. This large island lies between the Malay Peninsula. Northside, Booth.
Java.
Yes.
Good shot.
Which U.S. editor and publisher is best known for his famous familiar quotations? Baldnab, Joe.
Bartlett.
Yes. Which French king went to the guillotine? Northside, Booth.
Louis XVI.
Yes.
Shot.
It is the state bird of 8 states in Baldnab, Joe.
Mockingbird.
Incorrect. Including West Virginia, and it produces a loud, clear whistle sounding like what cheer, or a rolling carol ending in wheat, wheat, wheat. Name this bird and mascot of the St. Louis professional baseball team. Northside, Seth.
Cardinals. Cardinals.
Judges.
I said it simultaneously with her.
Judges. This is a judge's decision.
Two people answered at the same time.
Okay. The judges say no. Okay.
Suzanne.
They tried it first. They tried it first. Okay? This Paris landmark was built as a veterans home. Northside, Seth.
Louvre.
No. Was built as a veterans home in 1671. Identify the building that is now home to Napoleon's tomb. Baldnab? Called time on that. It is Hôtel des Invalides, or some such pronunciation. French is not my strong suit. Question 46. It goes between Innsbruck, Austria, and Bolzano, Italy. Identify this lowest pass through the Alps. Northside, Booth.
Brenner.
Yes.
Good shot.
Name any two of the 10 elements in the periodic table that are classified as ancient? Northside, Sean.
Oxygen and hydrogen.
No. Classified as ancient, that is, they have no credited discoverer. Bald knob. David.
Silver and gold.
Yes.
Good job, David.
Good job, David.
And there's a fairly long list of the rest of them. What biblical character laid out a fleece to see if God... Northside, Seth.
Gideon.
Yes. Identify the two-word term that is defined as the lowest possible temperature. Bald knob, Joe.
Absolute zero.
Yes. And our final question for this match. It celebrated its 900th birthday in 1985. It has 12 chapels and is burial place, Bald knob, Joe.
The Vatican.
Incorrect. And is burial place to 13 English kings. Identify this place that is home to Poets' Corner. Northside, Cecilia.
Westminster Abbey.
Westminster Abbey is correct. Do we have any challenges, coaches? Okay, with no challenges, the score at the end of this semifinal match is Fort Smith Northside with 375 points, Bald Knob with 250 points, and we will go on. Northside will go on now to the final match, and our other semifinal will be coming up in a moment, and I believe we're now going to Evangeline.
During the Quizbowl competitions, there have been a lot of character and personalities come through. And we've captured some of those characters and personalities, and we call it the Faces of Quizbowl. So let's take a look.
Incorrect.
Next question, what are penniless people called? Benton Shane.
Broke.
Huntsville Jason.
Hey, you touch it.
Northside Collins. Third. Complete, please.
Republic.
Of France. Had to drag that one out of you. Next toss-up.
Berryville, Westlake.
Cell.
Cell for Psycho is correct.
Geronimo.
Geronimo is correct.
Answer, please.
Hibernation.
Hibernation is correct.
Northside, Villapon.
Yalta.
Yes.
Huntsville, Scott.
Burn.
Burn is correct.
Benton, Lisa.
Kipling.
Yes.
Side, Michael.
Hector.
That's correct.
Northside Daniel.
Jordan.
Yes, next toss-up.
Northside, Gary.
Acid.
Correct.
Northside Evan.
Atlas.
Yes.
Northside, Sheila. Charlie Chan. That's correct.
The Faces of Quiz.
Game between Benton High School and Walnut Valley Christian Academy. I am Suzanne Miner, your host for this. I'll remind you all to remember to speak up clearly, and when you give answers, captains, make sure you don't have your hands in front of your face when you give the answers clearly and directly to me. And again, for the benefit of our audience at home, our first quarter is 20 toss-up questions. Players must buzz in and wait to be recognized. Teams, you all ready?
Yes.
Looks like your coaches and alternates are about settled, so we'll go ahead and get started with what should be a quick math question. Take the number of stories in Boccaccio's The Decameron and subtract the only prime number between 17 and 23. Walnut Valley, Andy.
-9.
Incorrect. What number do you get? Benton? Alex?
81.
81 is correct. 100 minus 19. What is the term for the tendency of a gyroscope to turn when under the influence of a torque that tries to change the direction of its axis of spin? Blank looks all the way around. It is precession. This was a guerrilla conflict fought by Cubans for independence from Spain, led by Carlos Manuel de Cepedas. Identify this war that ended with the Treaty of Zañón. And another one. It is the 10 Years' War. This is the SI unit for the amount of work done by 1 Newton acting through a distance of 1 Benton. Alex.
Joule.
Joule is correct. In what California city does William Saroyan play The Time? Walnut Valley, John.
San Francisco.
Yes. Identify the author of the famous line, "But there is no joy in Mudville." Benton. Keith.
Thayer.
Thayer is right.
Oh, John.
When he could not read his poem because of the sun's glare at President Kennedy's, Benton. Keith.
Frost.
Yes. He read it from memory, or did it from memory. Okay. Winning the 1932 Nobel Prize in Physics, he was generally regarded as the father of quantum mechanics. Benton. Phillips.
Planck.
Incorrect. Name this German mathematical physicist whose famous uncertainty principle, Walnut Valley, John.
Heisenberg.
Heisenberg is right. What is the 2-word term for the unchanging speed reached by a falling body when Walnut Valley, Andy?
Terminal velocity.
Yes.
W.
What scientist determined the charge carried by 1 Benton? Alex.
Millikan.
Millikan is correct. Toss-up number 11. This U.S. novelist, known for his ironic style and use of comic and elaborate allegory, is best known for The Sotweed Factor. Benton. Phillips.
Barth.
Yes. This was the musical style favored by the Renaissance composer Joachim de Pré. Identify this form that literally means in the style of the chapel. Walnut Valley, John.
Chapelesque.
Incorrect. Benton, can you pick it up? Oh. Alex?
Passion.
Incorrect. A cappella. Identify the Florentine painter whose masterworks of the early Renaissance include the famous frescoes of Padua's Arena Chapel. Walnut Valley, John.
Masaccio.
Incorrect. Benton? Philip?
Versace.
No, it is Giotto. Remember to speak up really clearly, please.
Okay.
Having a little bit of trouble picking up on some of your things. Between the mainland of this state and the Alexander Archipelago is part of the Inside Passage, a deep natural waterway. Identify this state whose capital is not directly accessible by land. Walnut Valley, John.
Michigan.
Incorrect. Benton? Sarah?
Hawaii.
Incorrect. It is Alaska. What computer language developed by Sun Microsystems? Walnut Valley, Andy.
Java.
Yes. The British scientist Sir Humphrey Davy discovered this element in 1808. It is critical in preventing osteoporosis. Walnut Valley, John.
Calcium.
Yes. Which of the Great Lakes is the third largest by area and the only one that is completely Benton Keith?
Lake Michigan?
Yes.
Johnson.
He shows a distinct character development in the course of the Odyssey. Walnut Valley, John.
Odysseus.
Incorrect. Going from an adolescent first exercising his power to a young man capable of fighting at the side of his father, who was the son of Odysseus. Keith.
Telemachus?
Yes. This 19th century French composer's works were usually inspired by some literary association or non-musical allusion, as in his works Damnation of Faust, Benton Philip.
Berlioz.
Yes. And the final question of this quarter, the following characters appear in what 1844 novel? Cardinal Richelieu, Benton Keith.
The 30 Years' War.
Incorrect. Cardinal Richelieu, Lady de Winter, Constance Bonahue, Aramis, Porthos, Athos, and D'Artagnan. Walnut Valley, John.
The Three Musketeers.
Yes. And that was the final question of the quarter. Coaches, do we have any challenges? Challenges, coaches? Do we have any substitutions before we go on? Okay, we are going to do a substitution. We're going to do a substitution for Walnut Valley's team. And sometimes a coach chooses to substitute in order to put in a player who might be able to contribute just a little bit more in a bonus category or a 62nd round category, or maybe they want a player to have a chance or a little bit of opportunity to be on television and have all their friends and family see them. And sometimes you take a player out because they might be a little bit nervous. So Heather is joining us for Walnut Valley. Welcome, Heather. I think we're ready to go ahead then. Okay, we're ready for our second quarter. Everybody set? Remember, your toss-up answers that are correct earn you a bonus possibility. And again, Keith and John, when you give the answers, make sure I know it's the one you want me to hear. Toss-up. What fanatical devotee of the philosophy of Jean-Jacques Rousseau was guillotined in 1794 for being primarily responsible for the reign? Benton Philip.
Robespierre.
Yes. And Benton, your first bonus is the Old Testament. Identify the following figures from the Old Testament. This son of Isaac and Rebekah was later called Israel.
Jacob.
Yes. This former wife of Uriah became the wife of David and the mother of Solomon.
Bathsheba.
Yes. This son of Cain was the father of Methuselah.
Yeah. Enoch.
Yes.
Job.
This son of Saul was David's closest friend.
Yeah. Jonathan.
Yes, all four of those correct for 20 points. Next toss-up. In this condition, a quick decrease in atmospheric pressure causes Benton, Sarah.
Bends.
Say again, please.
Bends.
Bends, yes. Another one of those cases. Speak up so we can all hear you, please. Okay, your bonus for Benton. Presidential birthplaces. When given a president, identify the state in which he was born. Our first one, George Washington.
Virginia.
Yes. Franklin Roosevelt.
New York.
Yes. Dwight Eisenhower.
Kansas.
No. Warren Harding.
Ohio.
Yes.
Sure.
Eisenhower was born in Texas. Spent a lot of time in Kansas. Your score on that, 3 out of the 4, so 15 points. Okay, toss up again. What American author co-founded The Village Voice and wrote a Pulitzer Prize winner about convicted murderer Gary Benton? Keith.
Mailer.
Yes.
Job.
Your bonus is on musical instruments. Identify the following musical instruments. This single reed hybrid of the clarinet and oboe with a conical bore was invented in 1840. Answer, please.
Saxophone.
Yes.
Good job.
This alto member of the violin family is tuned a fifth lower than the violin.
Viola.
Yes.
Good job.
This metal percussion instrument in the form of a bent steel rod was named for its shape.
Triangle.
Yes. The Hotatere family developed this wind instrument from the treblesham in the 17th century. Answer, please.
Ode.
No. It is the oboe.
Oh.
Have an easy one, then a hard one. So 3 out of the 4 there. Okay, our toss-up for our last bonus. Who is the only entertainer to have won an Oscar, Emmy, Grammy, and Tony? Walnut Valley, Heather.
Rita Moreno.
Yes.
Good job.
And Walnut Valley, your bonus is on movie studios. Identify the following movie studios. This company was started in 1919 by Chaplin, Fairbanks, Pickford, and Griffith.
Keystone.
Incorrect. This studio was founded in 1924 when 3 large studios merged.
MGM.
Yes. Adolf Zukor founded this studio by merging with Jesse Lasky's company in 1916.
Universal.
No. Founded in 1923, this studio produced The Jazz Singer.
Universal.
No. I have if they got 1 out of the 4. Chaplin, Fairbanks, Pickford, and Griffith formed United Artists. Adolf Zukor's company was Paramount, and The Jazz Singer was produced by Warner Brothers.
Okay.
And that brings us to the end of the second quarter. Again, as we've discussed, we will read you the categories, and then we'll take a break while you make decisions. Your categories for the lightning round are scientists. Identify the following scientists. Democratic presidential nominees. When given a year, identify the Democratic nominee for president. And U.S. currency. Identify the following U.S. coins and bills from a short description. Coaches, did we have any challenges from that second quarter? No challenges? Judges, does the score look right to you? We have the score of 170 for Benton. Walnut Valley has 75. When we come back, we'll do the 60-second round. And we'll now go to a video presentation.
So what we do to
and made substitutions as necessary. Walnut Valley, with the lower score, has chosen the category of scientists. And you are to identify the scientists. Number 1, Dutch founder of microscopy.
Leeuwenhoek.
Yes. French physicist who discovered radioactivity in uranium.
Curie.
No. Discovered the neutron.
no wait, no, who's the gold forward guy? Rutherford.
Rutherford.
No. Wrote Silent Spring.
B.F. Skinner.
No. Dutch physiologist who invented the electrocardiogram.
Pass.
Pass. Swedish botanist who formalized binomial nomenclature.
Linnaeus.
Yes. Discovered electrical induction.
Faraday.
Yes. First postulated continental drift.
Pass.
Pass. Nobel laureate for transistor and superconductivity. And that's time, so that one does not turn over. Judges, they got right number 1, number 6, and number 7. Is that right? So we have several to turn over to Benton. Benton, are you ready to pick up on these? French physicist who discovered radioactivity in uranium.
Becquerel.
Yes. Discovered the neutron.
Chadwick.
Yes. Wrote Silent Spring.
Carson.
Yes. Dutch physiologist who invented the electrocardiogram.
Vesalius.
No. And first postulated continental drift.
Wegener.
Yes. And the one that both teams could not get, the Dutch physiologist, was Willem Einthoven. And that's all of the ones for that round, right? Okay, Benton, the category that you chose was U.S. currency. Answer these questions about U.S. coins and bills from a short description. Number 1, he is on the $10 bill.
Hamilton.
Yes. He is on the current quarter.
Washington.
Yes. He was on the dollar coin from 1971 to 1978.
Eisenhower.
Yes. In 1964, he began his reign on the half dollar.
Kennedy.
Yes. Bill with Jackson on the front.
$20 bill.
Yes. Object on the reverse of the Franklin half dollar.
White House.
No. Man on the current dime.
Roosevelt.
Specific?
Franklin.
Yes. Greek god on an earlier 20th century dime.
Mercury.
Yes. Monument on the back of the penny since 1959.
Lincoln Memorial.
Yes. He was featured on the retired $10,000 bill. Okay, that was neither missed nor passed, so it will not turn over. I have that they got 8 of them correct. We have 1 to turn over. Okay, Walnut Valley, we are going to turn over to you the question, object on the reverse of the Franklin half dollar.
Liberty Bell.
Yes.
Wow.
You never know when you can pick up 10 points, right?
Yeah, really.
Okay, coaches, any challenges there?
You know that one?
No.
I believe we have a I'll explain a little bit before the challenges. Our score now is Benton with 290 points, Walnut Valley with 115 points, and I think we're ready to go ahead to our fourth quarter unless we need a substitution. And I believe Walnut Valley is going to substitute. Our final quarter of 20 more toss-up questions. Teams are ready. This author had a muckraking novel called The Gentleman, Walnut Valley, John.
North.
Incorrect. The Gentleman from Indiana, about an honest man's struggle with a political boss and organized crime. Identify this man who also penned The Magnificent Ambersons. Benton, Keith.
Tarkington.
Yes. Yeah. When this author's 28th novel took Hopalong Cassidy to the ripe old age of 60, he stopped writing rather than kill old Hoppy off. Who was this prolific author of Western novels? Walnut Valley, John.
Cooper.
Incorrect. Benton? Keith?
L'Amour.
No, it was Clarence E. Mulford. In this division of the Smithsonian, you can find the Spirit of St. Louis. Benton, Nathan.
Air and Space Museum?
More specific, please.
The Smithsonian Air and Space Museum?
No, we're not going to accept that one. We'll complete it for Walnut Valley. And the Apollo 8 space capsule. What is this most popular museum of the Smithsonian Institution? Andy?
Aerospace Museum.
No. We were looking specifically for the National Air and Space Museum because there are other air and space museums. We discussed that one earlier. Toss-up. What is the collective name of the following elements? Lithium. Benton, Alex.
Alkalines.
Yes. I saw a yes. Yes. Okay. I see a yes from a judge who teaches science, I believe. Toss-up. This former member of the Quarrymen released the album Gone Troppo in 1982. Identify this former Beatle who sang I've Got My Mind. Benton, Nathan.
George Harrison?
Yes.
Good job.
Remember, speak up, please, Nathan. What Paris museum, which was once Benton, Philip?
The Louvre?
No. Which was once a train station, is home to some of the greatest Impressionist works. Walnut Valley? Called time on that. Sorry, it's calling time. It is Musée d'Orsay. This is a quick question of measurement. How many rods are in a furlong? Benton, Alex.
27.
No. Walnut Valley? Andy.
6,000?
No, it is 40. We're not up on our obscure measurements, huh? This European country is the only one with a national dog. It is, incidentally, the pug. Name this country whose capital is Amsterdam. Walnut Valley, John.
Holland or the Netherlands?
Yes. In a logical proof, 3 dots in the shape of a triangle. Walnut Valley, Andy.
Therefore?
Yes. What 2-letter term has all of the following meanings? It is the abbreviation for an SI unit of measure. It is the acronym for a European economic structure, and it is the Roman numeral for 900. Benton, Keith.
CD.
No. Walnut Valley? Andy?
CM.
CM is correct. Cool. Question number 41. What philosopher and mathematician conceived of fiacres, or circulating carriages, which became the mass transit system of Paris? Walnut Valley, Tim.
Descartes.
Incorrect. Benton? Philip?
Pascal.
Yes. As specified in the United States Constitution, give the 2 prerequisites for senatorial candidates. One says that they must be at least a certain age. The other says they must have been a citizen of the United States. Walnut Valley, Andy.
30 years old and a citizen for 9 years?
Yes. Good job. What church, completed in 1914, stands atop Montmartre, the highest point of land? Benton, Keith.
Mont Saint Michel.
No, the highest point of land in Paris. Walnut Valley? John?
St. Paul's?
Incorrect. It is the Sacred Heart Church. This palace in Florence, Italy, was erected between 1560 and 1576. Identify this art gallery, famed for its collection of Florentine Renaissance paintings. Benton, Keith.
Pitti Palace.
Incorrect. Walnut Valley? John?
The Ice Palace.
No, it is the Uffizi Palace. This question might take pencil and paper and perhaps our 15 seconds. Convert the following base 3 number into base 10 notation. 3, 2, 1. Benton, Alex.
34.
Yes. The spectacular eruption of this Mexican volcano, Benton, Philip.
Paracutin.
Incorrect. Of this Mexican volcano in 1981 was more powerful than that of Mount St. Helens a year earlier and led to widespread devastation. Name the volcano. Walnut Valley? No answer. It is Shinshan, or Chinshan. Baroque opera is currently having a revival in Europe with performances of this composer's masterpiece, Orfeo. Benton, Philip.
Monteverdi.
Yes. In 1998, This movie, based on a 1960s science fiction TV show, toppled Walnut Valley. John.
Lost in Space.
Yes. And I was so looking forward to saying, Danger, Will Robinson. Our next toss-up. It was Verdi's only comic opera. Name this opera based on a recurring character in several Shakespearean plays. Walnut Valley, Tim.
Full stop.
Yes. And our final question. He was governor of Massachusetts in the 1830s and minister to England from 1841 to 1845. Name the Secretary of State from 1852 to 1853, who is also the 1860 Constitutional Union vice presidential candidate. Walnut Valley, John?
Douglas.
Incorrect. Benton? Keith?
Cass.
Incorrect. A lot of information for Edward Everett. And that wraps up the game unless coaches wish to challenge. Coaches do not wish to challenge. That would make our final score with Benton at 350, Walnut Valley Christian Academy at 170.
Going into the final match. First we have Fort Smith Northside. Our team members are Seth Hutchinson, Cicely Tran, who is the captain, Buthanam Nuan Sangsi, Sean Standifer. The alternate is Colin Drolshagen, and Coach Larry Jones. Our next team is Benton High School. We have Alex Metcalf, Keith Westbrook, who is the captain, Philip Stevens, Sarah Harper, alternate Nathan Taggart, and the coach is Linda Miller. Suzanne, take it away.
Benton and Northside. Deja vu all over again. Are we ready? All right. Toss-up number one. This mythological figure, whose name literally means fear of panic, was the son of Ares, god of war, and brother of Deimos. Name? Northside, Cecilia.
Phoebos.
Judges? No. Name this figure for whom one of the two satellites of Mars is named. Benton? Philip.
Phobos?
Phobos, yes.
Yeah.
The outer islands of this group include North and Southwest, Skye, Bar, as well as Louis and Harris. Northside, Booth.
Hebrides.
Yes.
A shot.
This Lebanese writer, Northside, Cecilia.
Khalil Gibran.
Yes.
Good
A
job.
shot.
Its name is derived from the Latin for cooked earth. Benton, Philip.
Igneous?
Incorrect. What is this clay often associated with pink-colored pottery? Northside, Cecilia.
Terracotta.
Terracotta
Good
is
job.
correct.
Good job.
This French dramatist founded the Illustre Theatre in Paris in 1643. The theater later became the Comédie Française. Name this author who was born Jean Benton. Keith.
Moliere.
Moliere is correct. This college was founded at Saybrook, Connecticut in 1701. Northside, Booth.
Yale.
Yes.
A shot.
Better known now as New Haven. Toss-up. This game was once called Spheristiky, from the Greek for ball playing. It was invented by Walter C. Wingfield in 1873 and first played at a garden party in Wales during the same year. Name this sport, whose champions include Bill Tilden, Don Budge, and Rod Laver. Northside, Seth.
Cricket.
Incorrect. Benton. Keith.
Tennis.
Tennis is right. Okay, a famous naval battle was fought off the coast of this peninsula in 1916. Northside, Booth?
Jutland.
Yes.
A shot.
It is skeptical reservation of judgment in the absence of proof rather than an explicit rejection of any divine order. Benton, Sarah.
Agnosticism.
Yes.
Good job.
This dance, said to have resembled the triumphal marches of Polish warriors, first became popular around 1645. In music, Chopin wrote a famous one in A. Northside, Booth.
A waltz?
Incorrect. Wrote a famous one in A flat major. Name this dance. Benton? Sarah?
The polka.
No, it is called the Polonaise. Toss-up number 11. This country minted the world's heaviest coins in 1644, each weighing 10 pounds, not exactly pocket change. What was this nation whose leader was Queen Christina? Northside, Seth.
Norway.
Incorrect. Benton, can you take it? Philip?
Denmark?
Incorrect. It was Sweden. Like his emperor father, he was a serious student of marine. Northside, Cecilia.
Akihito.
Yes.
Good shot.
Of Japan. He was crowned King of Scotland in 1651 before invading England. Benton, Philip.
Cromwell?
Incorrect. But upon being beaten by Oliver Cromwell, he fled to France. Who was this monarch? Northside? Seth?
Bonnie Prince Charlie.
Charles II. We'll come back to that if necessary. This English Baroque composer was named organist at Westminster Abbey in 1679 and remained at that post until his death in 1695. Name this composer who wrote just one opera. Benton, Keith.
Beethoven?
Incorrect. The opera was Dido and Aeneas. Northside, Cecilia.
Purcell.
Yes.
Good shot.
In his first major league at-bat, this 1997 American League MVP hit a double off Oakland A's pitcher David Stewart. Name this star, a recent addition to the Cincinnati Reds. Benton, Keith.
Ken Griffey Jr.?
Yes.
Yeah.
This country is home to the Palace of Caylus, completed by Mateus Vincent de Oliveira in 1752. Name this nation, whose capital is Lisbon. Benton, Philip.
Portugal?
Yes. What Swiss mathematician established the field of fluid mechanics? Northside, Sean.
Bernoulli.
Yes.
Good shot.
This building was begun in 1720 under Erhard Martinelli. Name this palace. Northside, Sean.
The Louvre.
Incorrect. Name this palace, also known as the Hungarian Versailles. Benton? Called time on that is the Esterhazy Palace. Among other things, he first calculated the speed of sound in 16... Benton, Alex.
Mach.
Incorrect. Calculated the speed of sound in 1698. Name this preeminent scientist who humbly said he could see so far because he stood on the shoulders of giants. Northside? Booth?
Newton?
Yes.
Good shot.
And our last toss-up for the quarter. In the Bible, this Philistine mistress persuaded Samson. Northside, Seth.
Delilah.
Delilah is correct. And I am going to guess that we have a challenge which the coaches will need to present to our judges. And before the challenges, it looks like our score is Benton 60, Fort Smith Northside. We'll allow those challenges. We have 2 challenges. We allow 5 minutes. And sometimes as we go through, we have a real sense of what those challenges might be. So we'll let the judges make their decision. All right. As sometimes happens with these challenges, a coach might have in their head that they're fairly certain that something needed to be challenged, and players might have it in their head. But our rule is you must be able to prove it with documentation that you have in the room. And I believe that neither one of our coaches was able to do that to the level that would be required, so we have no challenges. And I hope in the interest of our time that our substitutions were already made if they were needed. Okay. So we will go on to our second quarter, which consists of toss-up questions followed by bonus opportunities. Are we ready? Okay, our toss-up. It is located on Honshu and is a major trading center that supports many industries. Name the second largest city in Japan. Northside, Booth?
Yokohama.
Yes.
Good shot.
Your bonus is scientist. Okay, calm please. Identify the following scientists. In 1879, this man showed that the production of gastric juices could be achieved without the introduction of food into the stomach.
Pavlov?
Yes.
Good shot.
In 1840, this man elucidated the role of glaciers in geological change and put forth his ice age theory.
Agassiz?
Yes.
Yeah.
In 1882, this bacteriologist proved that microorganisms were the specific cause and not merely contaminants of disease.
Koch?
Yes.
Good shot.
In 1800, this man published a noted essay disagreeing with Galvani that led him to construct a voltaic pile, the forerunner of the modern battery.
Volta?
Volta is correct. All four for 20 points.
You said volcano.
Back to a toss-up. From 1962 to 1971, he served as Secretary General of the United Nations. Northside, Booth?
Udon.
Uthant is correct. Your bonus this time is on Ireland. Answer the following questions about Ireland. What staple of the Irish diet suffered a major blight in the 1840s?
Sweet potato?
Yes. Which saint is credited with converting Ireland to Christianity in the 5th century?
St. Patrick?
Yes. Dublin is the largest city. What is the second largest city in Ireland?
Cork.
Cork?
Yes. Who served as the head of the Irish government from 1992 to 1994?
Okay.
Jerry Adams?
No. Albert Reynolds. So 3 out of the 4. Back to a toss-up. In 1924, she married celebrated photographer Northside Cecilia.
O'Keefe?
Yes.
Good shot.
Okay, your bonus is on Secretaries of State. Given the name of a Secretary of State, identify the president that he served under. Edmund Muskie.
Carter?
Yes. Henry Stimson.
Hoover.
Hoover?
Yes. Cordell Hull.
Eisenhower. No, wait,
FDR.
Franklin Roosevelt?
Yes. And James G. Blaine.
Is Harrison. Benjamin Harrison.
Benjamin Harrison?
No. On the fourth one I have that it was James Garfield. And that was 3 out of the 4. For our final bonus category, in 1984, 2 members of this religious group, founded by Guru Nanak, Northside Sean.
Sikhism.
Yes.
Good shot.
And the final bonus also goes to Northside. It is chemical elements. Identify the following chemical elements from their Latin names. Plumbum.
Lead?
Yes. Argentum.
Silver.
Silver?
Yes. Stibnum.
Antimony?
Antimony.
Antimony?
Yes. And calcium.
Potassium.
Potassium?
Yes, all 4 are correct. That's the end of the quarter, and I believe we have a challenge being presented to our judges, and I'm guessing it was on Secretaries of State. Sometimes on president questions, they might have served more than one president, and I only had one answer listed. So I believe that is what we are working on in this challenge. Okay, our judges have a decision.
In the lightning round, second quarter bonus round, Secretaries of State, James Blaine did indeed serve under Harrison. We need you to ask the team to be specific, however. Did they?
Did say
I'm
first
sorry,
name, yes.
we didn't write it down like that. Okay, then we judged it is correct, adding 5 more points.
Okay. All right. That's why it pays for coaches to be on their toes. And history teachers ought to apologize for missing history questions. So sorry. This time our score is Benton with 60 points, Fort Smith Northside with 215. It'll be time now to hear the categories for our lightning rounds. The first category, B, people. Identify the following people whose last names begin with the letter B. The second one, Spaniards. Identify the following people associated with Spain. And literary characters. Given an author and a character in a literary work, identify the work. We're now going to go to Evangeline while our coaches consult with their teams.
Well, are you sitting on the edge of your seat? We are, because it's really getting heated in there with all of the challenges. Joining me right now is a man who knows the answers to all of the questions you've heard. I mean, all of them. I have with me Mr. Ray Simon, who is the director of the Department of Education. Mr. Simon, how do you feel about what you've seen here today?
Well, first of all, I appreciate you not asking me any of these questions that I'm supposed to know the answers to. I don't know that our viewing audience can appreciate the real atmosphere that's going on here this evening. You have to be in the studio and sense all the preparation, all the importance, all the players, the coaches, the moderator. We've seen challenges to questions. Boy, this has all the excitement of any athletic event, any high-profile event. It's all here. Yeah. And my congratulations to the teams and all the coaches and the efforts they put into this. It's obvious a lot of preparation went into this. And it's just exciting to be here and be a part of it.
That's true. Well, I understand that you're involved with a very exciting initiative. Tell us a little bit about that.
The state of Arkansas has launched an initiative called Smart Start. That is our K-4 initiative that's saying that all children should learn to read, write, and do mathematics early. The type of performances that you're seeing here this evening, that didn't happen by accident. These young people have studied hard. It's obvious that they know more than just memorization of facts. They're able to put facts together. They're able to relate various disciplines together in order to answer questions. This is true education as it should be. And we want that for all children. And the way to do that is to start early. And so Smart Start is saying that we expect all of our children in Arkansas to, first of all, achieve to high standards. And we want the children to know what those standards are. In order to do that, we have to assist their teachers and their principals and their parents to know what those standards are. And so we have ongoing professional development opportunities for our teachers and administrators throughout the year to understand, first of all, what the standards are for each individual classroom, and then how that teacher can apply that knowledge into the classroom to make sure the child gets it. And then, of course, testing is an important factor in order to judge whether or not the students have attained the standards that we've set for them. This past week, we administered our benchmark exams, which is the state's test to measure the standards, and that was done this week at 4th, 6th, 8th grade, and at end of course at high school in algebra, geometry, and literacy. And the final component of Smart Start is accountability. We are holding schools accountable for the results of the tests. And it's an exciting time to be in education in Arkansas. We're going to have thousands and thousands of better readers, writers, and mathematicians as a result of our efforts.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you very much for being here with us. And we do hope that you will look forward to being involved in the Smart Start initiative, because who knows, you could end up being right here someday, young people, here in the Quiz Bowl. We're going to go back to Suzanne for the final match.
With our score at Benton with 60 points, Fort Smith Northside with 215 points, we're ready for our 60-second round. Our 10 related questions need to be answered in 60 seconds. Benton, you chose literary characters. I will give you an author and a character in a literary work. You give me the work. Number 1, Charles Dickens, Bob Cratchit.
Christmas Carol?
Yes. Fyodor Dostoevsky, Raskolnikov.
Crime and Punishment?
Yes. Somerset Maugham, Philip Carey.
Of Human Bondage?
Yes. Louisa May Alcott, Joe March.
Little Women?
Yes. William Faulkner, Joe Christmas.
Light in August?
Yes. Robert Louis Stevenson, David Balfour.
Kidnapped?
Yes. Rudyard Kipling, Mowgli.
The Jungle Book?
Yes. Charlotte Bronte, Edward Rochester.
Jane Eyre?
Yes. Saul Bellow, Charles Citrine.
Humboldt's Gift?
Yes. James Joyce, Leopold Bloom.
Ulysses?
Yes. And with plenty of time left over, they got all 10 of the 10 questions, which gives them a 20-point bonus. Good job, Benton. Which means that we're ready to give Fort Smith Northside their shot at the category you chose, which was B, people. Ready, judges? Identify the following people whose last names begin with the letter B. Number 1, FDR's first nominee to Supreme Court.
Brandeis.
Brandeis.
No. Wrote jazz classic 1 O'Clock Jump.
No answer.
Uncle Milty.
No answer.
Appointed Secretary of State in 1989.
89.
Babbitt. Secretary of State.
Baker.
Baker.
Yes. Wrote the 1963 The Fire Next Time.
Baldwin.
Yes. Conducted New York Philharmonic 1958 to 69.
Bernstein.
Yes. Truman's Vice President.
Barkley.
Barkley.
Yes. Both men who created The Greatest Show on Earth.
Barnum
Barnum
and
and
Bailey.
Bailey.
Yes. Quarterback nicknamed Slingin' Sammy.
No answer.
First woman doctor in the U.S.
Blackwell.
Blackwell.
Yes, and that was number 10. Okay, judges, I have that we turn over number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 9. Is that right? Okay. Benton, are you ready to pick up on these?
Of course.
Give it a shot anyway?
Yeah.
Okay. FDR's first nominee to the Supreme Court.
Berger.
No. Wrote the jazz classic 1 O'Clock Jump.
Bailey.
No. Uncle Milty.
Buck.
No. And quarterback nicknamed Slingin' Sammy.
Baugh.
Baugh is correct. The unfamiliar ones, the nominee was Hugo Black. Jazz classic 1 O'Clock Jump was Count Basie. Uncle Milty, our old television friend, Milton Berle. Okay, I have that Benton picked up 1 on the bounce back, and We have possibly substitutions or challenges here before going into the fourth quarter, coaches. A lot of the time our coaches like to do a little settling of nerves at this point, and it looks like we're going to have a substitution for the Benton team. He's right behind you. Alrighty, Nathan joining us from Benton. We're ready for our fourth quarter, which is 20 more toss-up questions. And you guys are probably as anxious as I am. Toss-up. Since he left office, he has worked with Habitat for Humanity, Northside, Cecilia.
Carter.
Yes.
Good shot.
Who is the general who was twice given command of the Army? Northside, Sean.
McClellan.
Yes.
Good shot.
This remains until the suture lines of a baby's skull fuse. Northside, Cecilia.
The Fontanelle.
Yes.
Good shot.
It was started by Francis I in 1546 and was added to by successive monarchs. In 17, Northside, Cecilia.
The Louvre.
Yes.
Good job.
Good shot.
This biblical character's name means helper, and he led the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem following Benton, Alex.
Nehemiah.
Incorrect. Following the captivity of the Israelites in Babylon. Name this man whose book is found between 2nd Chronicles and Nehemiah. Northside, Seth.
Ezra.
Ezra is correct. In geography, what term is used to identify a group or chain of islands? Northside, Cecilia.
Archipelago.
Yes.
Good shot.
Good job.
Identify the opera which has the following plot. A famous singer and her painter boyfriend fall into the clutches of an evil police chief. Name this Puccini, Benton, Phillips.
Madam Butterfly.
Incorrect. Name this Puccini opera. Northside, Cecilia.
La Bohème.
No, it is Tosca. What 2,060 square mile island was the scene of the first American amphibious assault against Benton, Phillips?
Incheon.
Incorrect. Against Japanese positions in the Pacific during World War II in a battle which lasted from August 7, 1942 until February the 9th, 1943. Northside, Booth?
Leyte Gulf.
Incorrect. It is Guadalcanal. The official language of this country is Dzongkha. It is a kingdom landlocked between India and China. Northside, Booth.
Nepal.
Incorrect. Name this tiny country whose capital city is Thimphu. Philip.
Bhutan.
Yes.
Yeah.
From what Broadway show do the following songs come? If I Loved You and You'll Never Walk Alone. Benton, Keith.
Carousel.
Yes. Our toss-up number 41. He appears to have been unpopular in Athens in his lifetime, possibly because of his agnostic and cynical views. Benton, Philip.
Diogenes.
Incorrect. Name this 4th century great Greek playwright of Orestia, Electra, and the Trojan women. Northside, Cecilia.
Aeschylus.
Incorrect. I have Euripides. First suggested in 1880 by Sir Francis Galton. What is the Northside, Cecilia?
Eugenics.
Yes.
Good shot.
In 1991, Colonel Ahmed Karakou lost to Nicefere Soglo in its first free election in 30 years. Name this country of Western Africa, formerly known as Dahomey. Northside Booth.
Benin.
Yes.
Shot.
She was born Margaretha Gertruda, Northside Cecilia.
Matahari.
Yes.
Good shot.
Over many years of wars and alliance, he conquered and united Mesopotamia. Benton, Philip.
Sargon.
Incorrect. Who was this able administrator? Sixth king of the first dynasty of Babylon and known for his strict code. Northside? Seth.
Hammurabi.
Yes.
Good job.
He succeeded his father, Paul I, with a reform program. Northside Booth.
Alexander the First.
Yes.
Good shot. Good shot.
They run parallel to the Blue Ridge Mountains and have the same name as a river that flows from Pennsylvania to New York. Benton, Keith.
The Alleghenies?
Yes. From the French for untying, it's Northside Cecilia.
Denouement.
Yes.
Good job. Good shot.
The cereal and auto industries are two appropriate examples of this market condition, which occurs when control over production and sale of a product is controlled by only a few companies. Benton, Nathan.
Monopoly.
Incorrect. Northside, Seth.
Conglomerate.
Incorrect. I have oligopoly. And our final question. The Rapus cucullatus species of this bird was known to exist on Mauritius until 1680, and the Victorianus imperialis lasted until 1770 on Reunion Island. Name this bird, whom Portuguese and Northside Sean.
Dodo bird.
The dodo bird. And with that appropriate question, we come to the end of our tournament with a score of Benton with 220 and Fort Smith Northside with 405 points. We'll go to Evangeline.
Congratulations, Fort Smith Northside, the winners of the Quizbowl. Right now we want to talk with the captain of Fort Smith Northside, Cecilia. Cecilia, why don't you just come right over here so everyone can see you? How are you feeling right now?
Elated, I guess. Pretty good. I did this for my for everybody of the last few years that played for the final north side of this tournament, and did it for Mr. Jones and everybody supporting us.
What advice would you give to some young person watching you all tonight, thinking about getting involved in this?
Study, get dedicated.
All right.
Love it as much as I do.
All right. Thank you, Cecilia. Congratulations to Fort Smith Northside. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will have Susan Howard, Carolyn Schry, Ray Simon, and Jeanette Deaton for the award ceremony. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
we take for granted that we can simply plug something in and voila, we have power. But what would you do if you didn't have access to this instant electricity? Over 3/5 of the world's population still do not have any access to electricity. Solar energy offers people electricity. Sunlight simply strikes the surface of the cell, electricity is produced, plug in some wires, and power something. The challenge for our group is to bring solar electricity to rural areas of the world. People that have the units are now very self-sufficient. It was such an exciting thing to see electric light brought into a house for the first time.
Hi, I'm Susan Howarth, Executive Director of AETN, and I am so pleased to be part of Quizbowl, and in particular, part of the awards ceremony. And joining me is Carolyn Schrey. She is the Quizbowl State Advisor, and Jeanette Deaton, who is the President-elect of the Quizbowl Board, and Ray Simon, who is the Director of the Arkansas Department of Education. So let's give out some more awards, right, Carolyn?
Sounds like a good idea to me.
All right.
We also need to mention to the TV audience today and to our teams that not only do they receive the large awards here, but they will be receiving individual scholarship money as well.
That's great. We're very glad to be able to do that. So first we have 2 third-place awards that we need to give out. And the first one will go to Bald Knob and to Bart Taylor. Bart, would you come out as captain of the Bald Knob team? Congratulations. That's terrific. Thank you. And our next, boy, these trophies are heavy, I think. Our next third-place team that we would like to recognize is Walnut Valley Christian Academy, and their captain is John Arrington. John? Yes. Congratulations. Okay. Our second-place team is Benton, and we would ask that Keith Westbrook, their captain, come out and receive the award. Okay, you're going to need help probably picking this one up. The first place trophy for the year 2000 Quiz Bowl in Arkansas goes to Fort Smith Northside. Cecilia Tron, would you come out, please? Can you get that? Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. And now Mr. Simon has another special award that we would like to give out tonight. Each year at Quiz Bowl, we do recognize the player deemed the most valuable. Our MVP for the year 2000 is Cecilia Tran. Congratulations, Cecilia. Congratulations to everyone. It was a great match, a great round of matches today at AETN, and we want to thank everybody for watching. Evangeline?
Thank you, and we do want to say congratulations to everyone. I have thoroughly enjoyed being the hostess this evening, and Suzanne, the quiz master, what are your final thoughts on what we've seen today?
Well, it's always fun, but I'm always really glad when it's over and the tension is gone and the teams are happy, and I think they're all still friends when the day is over.
Well, you did a wonderful job. We want to thank all of the parents. We want to thank all of the volunteers, the donors, everyone who participated in this event. And with that, we'll say good night and see you next year.